All right, next up, Kabaki, Kenyan, purple tee. Martin Kabaki, come on up. We have Vera as well, Vera Edmonovich. Martin, are you in the room? Oh, I'm sorry, Sports Juice, excuse me. That explains it. Sports Juice, Tugger Balcom, excuse me. Sorry about that, thank you very much.
I'll take it. Good morning, my name is Tugger Balcom and I'm the founder of Sporting Club from Maui, Hawaii. We make a product called Sports Juice. This isn't a sports or energy drink as you know it, it's a functional juice for performance. We're currently pre-launch with our first shelf-stable offering, Zero Caffeine Energy. In 2013, from our small hidden juice shop on Maui, we set out to create performance beverages by cold pressing fresh local ingredients. We came up with the original formula for energy with the best big wave surfers in the world. There's a wave on Maui called Jaws, for good reason, it'll kill ya. These guys are sponsored by the popular energy drinks that we all know, but won't touch the stuff. I realized that their reason focused on breath hold, which is life or death in 60-foot surf. I'm a freediver and surfer myself and understood the physiology of the breath hold, which relies on a healthy circulatory system. Rather than using stimulants that elevate your heart rate, consuming more oxygen, our approach tapped into the body's natural function. We found that all levels of performance, in or out of the water, benefit from an optimized circulatory system. We've spent the last year in California testing the HPP version of our original raw formula, only to find out that our core, mostly water sports athletes, hated the HPP single-use plastics required for HPP. As a lifelong surfer and outdoorsman, I wanted to be part of the solution to ocean plastics, not the problem. Our athletes also needed a product that was more minimal than the ice, insulation, and coolers required to get the sports juice to them. So the product you see today is a direct result of the performance needs of these athletes and a considerable step towards a more portable and earth-friendly delivery of sports juice. Thank you.
Okay, in terms of branding and positioning, Mike, we'll start with you again. Sports Juice.
I mean, in terms of branding and positioning, big wave surfers, ridiculously elite athletes, and it helps, gives them benefits. So I think other athletes are going to be intrigued by that. I also really like the taste of this, and I think that when you get into the story and you meet the founder, this one tugs at my heart.
All right, I like it. Jordan, does the branding and the story come through in the can?
I think it comes through in the can. I think a couple of us were familiar with the prior incarnation, right. And so we were sort of thinking a lot about that when we were reviewing it. I definitely think that there's an opportunity here for this, sort of demographic, and so for me, it's just a question of whether or not this specific presentation is going to quite capture that audience's expectations.
Mm-hmm. Tom, juice-based energy drink. What's the potential for this brand? What's the potential for a juice-based energy drink? Period.
Yeah, I think that the functional aspects of it totally delivers. This is a very authentic product, anchored in fantastic ingredients. It's just, is it going to be limiting? It's you're narrowing. How many surfers are there, and how will that, if that becomes your anchor, how does that translate to the everyday weekend athlete? But it's got real potential.
Karen, in terms of clean energy, a growing set, do you think that sports juice can fit into that set and be a star?
It can definitely fit into that set and be a star. Yeah, the growth in that segment is really significant. It's still very small, and it has a hard time with presence at the shelf. So there are some limitations, but it definitely fits.
Joe, I'm going to come back to you on the terms of the presentation. What did Tugger do right, and what feedback might you have for him in the future?
I think that, I'd love to hear just a little bit maybe about where he is in the market, and how far along he is at this point, just because it is a recent change. And maybe just to talk about the size of the market, actually articulate it.
Outstanding. All right, great feedback.